We've had an elderly couple call into the show, and they had a very interesting question. And the question was if whether or not they should add their adult children to the title of their home, and they wanted to do it so that the children were holding title jointly with them. And they wanted to do this in order to avoid probate estate tax. What advice would you have for this couple?
In a rising market where the home price is going up in value, that's a horrible piece of advice. One of the worst you can possibly give anybody. And I'm getting a lot of those situations right now. I don't know where that common misconception is coming from, but where it is, I wish they could put a stop to it. Because everyone I've talked to who've asked me to do that, once I explain to them the consequences of that, they immediately stop doing it, and they contact their friends and they say, change the title back.
So what would be the consequences of adding your adult children?
Here's how it works. In Canada, you get to make one tax-free investment in your lifetime, and that's in your primary residence. No one ever pays capital gains tax when they sell their home, as long as it's been their primary residence, and no portion of it was rented out, and no portion of it was occupied or owned by people who didn't live there as their primary residence. So, let's say that they've got 2 children. Makes the math easier. So there's now going to be 4 joint tenants. Only 2 of those joint tenants, the parents, are living there. So from the time it gets transferred into the 4 persons' names, half the increase in the value of that home is going to be capital gains.
Oh, so now, that could be expensive.
Now compare that to the cost of a probate. It averages out to about $8 per thousand. 0.8% probate tax.
Okay.
Compare that to the level of tax that you pay for income tax. Compare that to how quickly houses, especially in Canada these days, can go up in value. Suppose between the time the parents transferred into the kids' names and they both die, but they're both dead, that the house goes up in value just a modest amount, just $100,000 up in value. They will then pay tax on $50,000 because it's now 1/2 that you pay taxes on. So there'll be $50,000 worth of taxable income, and tax on $50,000 is a hell of a lot more than 0.8% of the value of that home.
Okay,
so that's really bad advice.
So they should be understanding the implications of capital gains if they're going on their parents' home.
And not just capital gains, but increase in value. The only time that you'd want to do that would be if the market was stationary and not going up in value, or if they were literally on death's door and you're making the wills from their deathbed in the hospital.